I suppose I'm like a business butterfly. And as we're speaking, I'm like, sometimes actually the inner boss babe can come out to play, and how can she serve me? And sometimes there's my business butterfly, and I flipped from place, and sometimes I want to work in my office, and sometimes I want to sit in the cafe and work, and sometimes I want to walk on the beach and just think about things. And actually that business butterfly can really work. Sometimes there's that inner boss babe, and as I'm listening and we're speaking, I'm going, oh, how can she work for me? How can all these parts be allies for us? Because if I'm in my boss babe all the time, will I rest on the days I feel tired? Maybe not. But actually, if that inner boss babe is just part of me and she keeps me motivated and she keeps me going, but then actually there is like another part of me that is the softer side in business. There's the part of me that goes, I can rest. So, I'm inspired. I feel inspired about bringing all these parts of me, because the butterfly can flutter too much sometimes. She needs the boss babe to bring her back.
The different perspectives here, different perspectives. I mean, Naomi, you're talking about being a business butterfly, and immediately I thought of all the ways that you're like pollinating all of the flowers in, a siren world, and like helping them bloom and create this whole meadow of feminine business. Like you're totally doing that. And that's what we're doing for each other as well, pollinating the whole meadow. We're being the butterflies, we're being the flowers, we're the whole thing, the whole picture.
I love that.
All right, quiz. Let's build a quiz. How about the last one was where do you go? How about what kind of business woman are you? Are you a business butterfly? Are you a boss babe? Are you a under the covers? Any other ideas?
Are you the Lois Lane of business? Are you out there adventuring and collecting the adventures?
Ooh.
Are you like an eagle where you just see things and the details from a great height, and then you just go after it and you can go and get it?
I love that. Are you a ladybug? You have so much going on, but you hide it. You want it all hidden.
Yeah. And how can all these parts like help us? It's like, how can, I take more of that businesswoman energy to help me? And we spoke about this, didn't we, Natalina, in a conversation about a workshop, and we were saying, how can you just turn it on for fun?
Yeah, you're Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe. Yeah.
Turns it on. Not that, I mean, a siren doesn't turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off with light switches. Yeah. But essentially, when you learn to radiate, there's a whole different, there's a vibe shift that happens. There's an energy shift where you are radiating. You turned it on. You turned on your business brilliance.
Exactly. And there's something about words, there's something about the word overwhelm. Now, as women, we all experience overwhelm. But how about we were to just flip overwhelm, and instead of, I'm overwhelmed, to say, how can I simplify right now? And suddenly something happens. So I can call that my inner eagle who can focus, or I can just say, how do I simplify? And as soon as I say that, the overwhelm melts away, my whole body softens inside, and I go, have a cup of tea, come back to my desk, and just do this one thing. Suddenly my whole internal world changes, and then the flow is back. There's so much to play with there.
So many people who talk about, intuition, listening to your intuition, or there's so many other, mystical woman boss babes who are like, I'm just going to go take a fancy bath and then I'll know everything to do. And sometimes I watch them, I'm like, I am not you. I wish I was you. I'm just going to take a bath and I'm going to know exactly what to do. But essentially, if you're slowing down and, even I worked with a woman who she's all like, I was at the grocery store and I just felt this pull to go down the pickle aisle. And that's where I found my business idea. And I'm like, okay, pickles, great. Like learning to listen to yourself, that trust factor of even like sensically, it doesn't make sense, but you really, as wonderful as it is living in your head, we want to drop down into our bodies and be surprised by what else is available, because you're going to be surprised.
And it's like sometimes when we want to decorate a room and it all starts with, I don't know, a plant. It's like, I love the color of this plant, and suddenly the whole room is created from the plant, or a vase, or just a thing, one color. And you know what? When we start RRCT and a woman is starting, suddenly her whole business is created from 2 words, or a phrase, or a desire, or a, you know, anything from, I went from feeling chaotic in my everyday to just feeling in my love life to feeling just peaceful and flowing, or just loved, or just cherished. And suddenly, before you know it, just those words have created the whole picture and the feeling. So actually we can build, we don't need to see the whole picture. You know, sometimes I put pressure on myself. I've got to know exactly how it's all going to work out. But sometimes we just start with one thing, a shell. What does this shell mean to me right now? What did it mean when I picked it up? How was it? I was walking with my friend on the beach. We were talking about, you know, who am I? Who am I anyway? And what about me? And suddenly the shell can take you somewhere. We don't have to have it all figured out. We can just pick a color. What inspires us? And the shell moves to a color, moves to a feeling suddenly. And then before you know it, there's a whole room decorated. And then the plants there, and the shells there, and the colors there. But we didn't have to have the design of the room all organized at once. And this is how it works and flows and evolves.
I'm just flabbergasted by the brilliance of you two.